Hey everybody, it's Christopher Smith. This video should last just under 20 minutes, and we're going to talk about the range bands indicator for TradeStation. So if you saw my earlier video that I made earlier in 2016, this video will cover some of the material, but we'll also have some new material, as we'll see shortly. So here's your standard disclaimer regarding trading products. Past performance don't guarantee future results. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. Be careful. Okay, me and my mission, for those of you who haven't heard from me before, I'm not a professional or full-time trader. I'm basically a software developer and a corporate IT guy, and most of my money I made the old-fashioned way, which is earning, saving, and trading and investing, of course. My mission is to give you top-quality trading tools at a very low cost. Over my 30 or so years in the markets, I bought a lot of systems, followed a lot of gurus, and done a lot of research, and I'm going to share with you the results of that research and provide it to you at the least possible cost. And now, just taking a look at the TradeStation Trading App Store, want to take a look at some of the most popular products, free products. You can see that my range bands indicator is right there in the top. So I think in terms of free indicators on TradeStation, it's fair to say range bands is probably in the top 3 or 4, and that I think is a testament to its simplicity and universalities. We'll talk about in a minute. You can also see my range bands trend dashboard that I'll talk about a little bit later in the video. So that's me. So the goal of the presentation, I'm going to talk about the range bands indicator. If you haven't seen my earlier video, I'll kind of revisit some of that material. Talk about how the bands are calculated, show you some of the new features in the version 2.0, and then give you a quick teaser on some of my upcoming products, the range bands trend dashboard and the 5-minute day trader. Some range bands overview. Range bands are a universal trend following indicator that can be applied to any chart, any tradable instrument in any time frame. And they give you a very simple and unambiguous indication of trend direction by painting the bars one of 3 colors: blue for an uptrend, red for a downtrend, and green for neutral or no trend. So taking a look at what that looks like, let's take a look at a chart analysis. Let's remove our indicators. And so to use the range bands, you essentially go to Insert, Paint Bar, and you want to choose the range bands upper and lower paint bar. That's upper and lower. So once you do that, you'll see that the bars are painted one of 3 colors again: blue for uptrend, red for downtrend, or green for neutral or no trend. So you can see that the indicator has done a fairly good job of capturing recent price action here. For example, we had a big sell-off in early 2016. Prices went pretty much straight down. And the bars were all red, briefly went green and went red again, and then turned blue right here in early February. And you can see that caught pretty much this entire up move here. And then more recently, starting with this rally in early July, the range bands have really done a great job of capturing that move. So, so that's what the range bands look like. In terms of how they're calculated, basically, this is what the formula is. We find the midpoint, which is the highest high minus the lowest low, divided by 2. Add that to the lowest low, and you get the midpoint, the price basically right between the highest high and the lowest low. And then we find the 14-bar average true range. This is a technical calculation created by Wells Wilder, which is basically the daily range over the past 14 bars that takes into account gaps between yesterday's close and today's open. Then we calculate the upper line, which is the midpoint, plus 1.05 times the 14-bar ATR. And calculate a lower line, which is the midpoint minus 1.05 times the ATR, average true range. So with that simple calculation, we can capture really most big trend moves. So we've taken a look at some examples already. So how do we deliver the indicator? We've already seen the paint bars. So we also deliver it as a regular indicator, a line indicator. So we can choose range bands, upper and lower lines. And we'll format those to go with price. And you can see that the range bands are essentially envelopes around price. When the price is above the upper line, the bars are painted blue and you're in an uptrend. When price is below the lower line, the bars are painted red and you're in a downtrend. You can notice the distance between the bars, between the lines, is dynamic, and it's based on the range itself. That's why I call them range bands. At some points, when the volatility is low, you see the bands are very close together. Other times, you can see the bands are very wide apart when the the tradable is rallying. So that's the lines, and we also deliver them as a system. So let's choose, let's just up the range, change the format, move this back. Yeah, 120.15 is good. We'll insert strategy. So we provide range bands as strategy. Range bands LE for long entry, LX for long exit, SE for short entry, and SX for short exit. So let's just add the range bands long entry and long exit. Change the properties, 100 shares, $1 per trade. Click OK. And you can see range bands applied as a system. And essentially just goes long when the range bands go blue and exits the long position, or enters a short if you apply a short system when the bars go red. So we could see in this case the system didn't do fairly well for the past 2 years, but I know if we change this to just 1/1/2016, you can see that it made a profit over the past year. So that's it. Range bands as system. Also, okay. So what are the advantages of using range bands? Well, the range bands will, if you follow them, you'll almost always be on the right side of a big move. You can see that most recently here. When prices made a move, the range bands caught that successfully. They give you clear, unambiguous signals, and they work on any market in any time frame. There's a disadvantage. You had the B1. The disadvantage is that the distance between the upper and the lower lines is over 2 times the average true range. So prices can move quite a bit against you before a change of direction, and that's particularly true on entering new trades. Is that you have to calculate the risk, and I'll show you some tools to do that. So the disadvantage again in sideways or trendless markets, the indicator can produce multiple changes in direction, leading to losses. So a strong trending market is the friend of range bands. A broad ranging market it would be its enemy, a situation where it doesn't do well. So I thought about this, and I was curious about applying range bands to various symbols to see how they did in a long only, short only, and buy and hold indications. And I realized there had to be a better tool, there had to be a better way to deal with this. So we'll take a look at that in 1 second. But first, quickly, some of the features of the range bands version 2.0, which is now available on the TradeStation Trading App Store. First, the paint bars always paint as intended. With the earlier version, you had to go into format, symbol, style, and you had to make sure all 3 of these were green. For this one, the bars always appear as intended. A second improvement is when the market's open, the most recent price bar will be painted blue, green, or red based on the range bands indication. In order for that to work, you just need to go into the properties of the indicator and change them to update value intra-bar tick by tick. So once you tick that, again, the bar will be painted based on the most recent tick. However, keep in mind that means that the bar might change color on you while still being painted. In other words, it might start out blue, end up green, or vice versa. So you might want to wait till the close of the bar to take a signal. Okay, and the final improvement here, let's just remove the lines. We added a new show me called the range bands stop dots. So these essentially plot dots on the screen at the point at which the trend would change. So this helps in 2 ways. One, when you're entering a new trade, you can see how much risk there is, how far the price would move against you before changing trend. And second, when you're in a trade, you can trail your stop according to where the dots are located. So that's a nice feature, a new feature in the version 2.0, now available for free on the TradeStation Trading App Store. So in terms of some new products that we're working on, first one is going to call the Range Bands Trend Dashboard. And getting back to this here, it occurred to me it would be very helpful to be able to see how well the range band system did across multiple symbols in long only, short only, buy and hold. So for that, I came up with the Range Bands Trend Dashboard Daily, which looks like this. Now, there's a lot of information on the screens implemented using a TradeStation radar screen. And the first column here is the last price with color-coded trend indication, blue for uptrend, red for downtrend, or green for neutral. This column shows you when the range bands changes direction reverses. So for example, GE reversed up, it went from green to blue in this case. And so that highlights trend changes for possible trading opportunities. The next column shows you the trend of the tradable, and you can see in this case the market's pretty much been in a strong uptrend since the elections. Most of these trends are up. This also matches the color on the last price indicator here. Next column is the risk, which is always shown as a negative, and this would be the amount of points that the stock would have to move against you to change direction. So in the example of GE, we have an up move here, and if the price moved $1.15 against you, it would change to a downtrend. So last three columns here are the strategy equity results of trading the range band system for a long only, short only, and buy and hold system. So you can compare how well the range bands did for long signals, short signals, and then buy and hold. You can see this year there's been a lot of, it's been obviously a very strong year to the upside, and the buy and hold has really done better than range bands in most cases. You do have some isolated cases where they did better. For example, in the case of J&J here, the range band's long, you made a 15% profit. Short, you made a 4% profit versus buy and hold, which is a 6% positive. And then Triple M here, for example, up 10%, while buy and hold only gave you 7%. So I'll give you a more detailed, I'll go through how this whole thing works and how these results are populated in a separate video, but for now I just wanted to give you a teaser on it and say that's now available in the TradeStation Trading App Store. If you want to search your range bands, you'll find that. It's going to cost $8 a month. I'm giving you a 30-day free trial subscription to that. The last few weeks of the year are usually pretty slow in trading, so I want to make sure you had time to take a look. So give it a try. It costs nothing for 30 days. See if you like it. See if it helps you. You should be able to find at least one good trade in a 30-day period using this tool. So that's now available. Take a look at that. And the other thing I want to talk about was the range bands 5-minute day trader. So this is a day trading system I'm putting together using the range bands indicator. And the way it works is it takes entry signals when the 5-minute, the 30-minute, and the hourly range bands are all in confluence to the up or the downside. And when that happens, it takes a long or a short signal. This operates on 5-minute bars. And then when the range bands 5-minute go negative, it exits the signal. So it uses multiple time frames for entry, 5-minute, 30-minute, hourly, and then exits on a 5-minute signal. Okay, so it is a day trading system. It closes all trades at the end of the day, and then uses the regular 5-minute long exit and short exit to exit trades. So how well does that do? Well, for Tesla, I've been day trading this on a test basis, simulated basis for the better part of a year here, and Tesla is by far the best performer. If we go look at the performance for that, we can see that on a $200 stock, it's made about $8,000 of this year, and equity has been very smooth to the upside. So this will be available at some point in the future, and what I'd say is it does a very good job of capturing big moves when they happen, just like the range bands themselves. It does even better if you add an ADX filter to filter out periods of time when the price really isn't trending. And that'll be available at some point in the future, but it's for now I'm still in evaluation stage for that. So that's pretty much all I have for now. In summary, I can tell you about range bands. They're a good general purpose trend following indicator. They're not a complete winning strategy. You definitely should have an underlying bias in what you're trading. In other words, do you think it's going higher? Do you think it's going lower? Whether it's technical or fundamental. And you know, the performance of range bands is really more based on the performance of the underlying. So in a strong up market, you're going to make money. In a strong down market, you make money on the short side. On a strong up market, make money on the long side. So make sure you have a fundamental bias on your tradable, and you know you have an idea which direction it's going, and then you want to use range bands to take an entry signal and to manage your risk. One more thing, whether you like it, if you like range bands, if it worked well for you, please like it, add a comment in the TradeStation Trading App Store, help develop my popularity that way. And of course, if you're interested, take a look at the range bands trend dashboard. Again, 30-day free trial. After that, $8 a month. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. All the best with the trading, and have a great day.